You know, in the face of adversity, we're strong. We've always been strong.
Josh Williams says that strength allows him to look past the details of the crime that killed his brother and forgive.
It's really important to me and my mother and my family that everyone knows, you know, we don't have any hatred towards Charles's family or even Charles.
But his family was relieved when U.S. Marshals arrested 29-year-old Charles Roberson Wednesday.
It definitely makes us feel a little bit better to know that they found him.
Investigators say Roberson fatally shot 20-year-old C.J. McNeil at an E-Town apartment complex. It happened late Sunday night on Deeks Drive. Images released by police showed the suspect smiling hours before the shooting. Williams says there is a takeaway in all of this.
A decision, just the decisions you make on a daily basis, they have nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you and everything to do with everyone around you, everyone you love.
He says Roberson's split-second decision has changed two families forever.
We lost a life, we lost a loved one, and that hurts bad.
Now, as the man accused of killing his brother works his way through the court system, Williams wants to spark change.
I'm not going to let my brother die. I'm going to use this story to impact as many lives as I can.
Williams wanted to thank the E-Town community and the police department there for their support in this difficult time. I'm Morgan Lentis, WLKY News.